Dear brothers and sisters, give me a few minutes of your time now, because what I'm going to tell you on this channel will perhaps be the most honest things you've ever heard. I'm Grant, and I've dedicated the last 22 years of my life to one single thing: understanding how money truly works and how it is earned. I grew up inside the world of banking. I managed the portfolios of major companies. I took positions in international markets. I conducted hundreds of investment analyses, and everything I learned throughout this process, I poured into thousands of articles on the world's largest investment forums and finance websites. Some of you may have read those articles. However, since most of them were published under pen names, you wouldn't know it was me. One day, while drinking my morning coffee, I looked at my portfolio and realized I no longer have to work. The system I built through years of hard work and research is working for me. In my early 40s, I had retired early and achieved my financial freedom. And at that moment, I thought, what about the others? In other words, what is going to happen to you? Because I look around me. Smart people, hard-working people, honest people, but they're barely making it to the end of the month. Why? Because nobody is telling them how money truly works. Now I'm going to ask you something. Have you ever wondered how the top executives of major companies, bankers, institutional investors, how do they manage their own money? I assure you, it is certainly not with the fairy tale they recommend to you. Put your savings in a deposit account. They don't tell you the truth. They steer you toward luxury spending and wrong investments, and they want you to be their financial slaves. There are strategies they use, real strategies, and these strategies are deliberately made to look complicated, filled with jargon, turned into something the ordinary person cannot understand. Why? Because as long as you live in financial ignorance, the system works for them. They take for themselves the share that you should be earning. I worked inside this system for 22 years. I know how companies think. I know how big money moves. I know which instruments truly work and which ones only fill the bank's commission vault. And I no longer want to keep these things hidden. When I was building Grant Invest, I asked myself, if a child from an ordinary family had access to this knowledge, where would they be today? That is the question that brings me here to speak. The work I've done prevents me from appearing before you in person, but it does not stop me from speaking. What we talk about here will not offer you promises of a golden goose. I am not here to tell you fairy tales like buy this stock, earn 500%. There are already more than enough of those kinds of channels out there. Here is what I will show you: how inflation slowly erodes you, and how to protect yourself from it. The true relationship between the products your bank recommends and its own interests. How compound growth becomes an extraordinary weapon for a disciplined and patient person. How small but correct decisions build great wealth over the years. In other words, mathematics. But real mathematics. Not the kind that reminds you of a high school exam. The kind that exists in the flow of life and changes your life. Now maybe you're thinking, okay, Grant, we get it. You have knowledge. But why now? Why here? Let me be honest. Retiring is great, but over time I realized one thing: wealth gains value with knowledge, not on its own. I shared this knowledge for decades across different platforms, forums, and in my writings, and I received messages from people who read those articles, saying, Grant Abi, this article of yours changed my life. Saying, I applied the strategy you wrote 2 years ago. Today my debt is gone. Those messages are what pushed me to create this channel. Here we will speak in a warm, fatherly tone. No exaggeration, no unnecessary technical terms, no explanations that treat you like you're foolish. I will explain things to you the way you'd talk on the street, the way you'd chat over coffee, because everything that looks complicated actually has a core, and that core is simple enough for anyone to understand and apply. Getting wealthy is not a matter of intelligence. It is a matter of applying the right knowledge at the right time with the right attitude, and this knowledge will no longer stay only inside those closed rooms in the skyscrapers. If you want your money to work for you, If you truly want to know the answer to the question, why not me? Follow the channel because the first real video is coming very soon. And after that video, you will never look at the market the same way again. The money in your pocket, in your wallet, will work in your place. And before long, you'll look up and find that you too have taken a step toward financial freedom.